Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Thoughts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host, Anjo, here with another Elden Ring challenge run overview for you guys. And today, I'm going to be talking about another one that I finished fairly recently, and it is called the Restoration of Death Run. So, this is another one of those TLDR. Here it is. If you guys want to screen cap it and go ahead and try it out for yourself. I had a lot of fun with this one, honestly, because it kind of forced me to play in a different way and do some different stuff that I would ordinarily do. So, in that sense, yeah, it was really intriguing. Because I had definitely heard some dialogue I had never heard before in this game. Because when I first played it, when it first came out, there weren't really guides, you know. I'm not sure like anybody really got review copies, and even if they did, like, yeah, most people were kind of going in blind, which was great. Like, anyway, that's a separate rant. But anyway, here's the overview for the rule set for this one. Some of these are going to sound familiar, so new game / character is a wretch, no keepsake. Every death right bird, and gargoyle must be killed. NPC quests that must be completed. D, Rogier, Fia, and Garank. Now, that is why I heard some dialogue I had not heard ever, is because you have to do all of these NPCs' quests, and they kind of are related to each other. They're intermingled a little bit, and I definitely had to look up some guides for like some of the steps for some of these guys, because the game does not make it super obvious. It is a bit more guided, I would say, than some other FromSoft games, where you really have no indication, but they do hint at some of the others. So on to the approved damage methods. Things you can use. So, club, which is your starting equipment, and you can just use it. You don't have to discard it or sell it or whatever, anything like in a lot of my other runs. Twin blade, Godskin peeler, death poker, rancor call, ancient death rancor, death ritual spear, explosive ghost flame, litany of proper death, any black flame or bestial incantation, sacrificial axe, twin bird kite shield, Helfin steeple, Roger's rapier, black knife, black blade, Malekith's black blade, Prince of Death's staff, astrologer's staff, Godslayer seal, golden order seal, grave scythe, and any gargoyle weapon. Now, you may recognize a lot of these as rewards for defeating some of the enemies I mentioned before, like obviously any gargoyle weapon. Like most gargoyles drop weapons. Like Death Poker, Ancient Death Rancor, Explosive Ghost Flame. Those are drops from either Death Birds or Deathrite Birds. Litany of Proper Death, for example, you get that from D. Roger's Rapier, you get that from Roger, obviously. And some of these you can get before doing any of those. So, Rule 5. No spirit ashes or consumable or reusable items. 6. Default ashes of war and affinities only. And I thought about this one for a while, and I was thinking, which of these can you even change the Ash of War on? And the answer is not a lot of them. Some of them you can. A lot of the weapons you can't. So I was like, a lot of these are really good anyway, so let's just limit the Ashes of War there. 7 flasks, including the Flask of Wondrous Physic. Armor and talismans are all okay. Also, anything obtained from D, Rogier, Fia. Wait, did I say that right? D, Rogier, Fia, or Karank is okay. Since you're going to be doing their quests, there are going to be some quest rewards, and some of them are already on the approved list, but kind of just to cover the other bases. Like, if you get it from them, whether they sell it or give it to you, doesn't matter, it's okay. So, for example, Rogier sells you a couple of Ashes of War, including Carrying Greatsword. That's okay too. Like, although, wait, no, it's not, because default Ashes of War only. Yeah, never mind. So, if it doesn't contradict one of the other rules, there you go. So, optional rules. This is going to be a longer run because having to go around and do all these quests and stuff. So in case you're having trouble in certain parts and such, that's what these are for. So Spirit Ashes are okay as an optional rule. Second one, any Ashes of War / Affinity is okay. So either of those, you don't have to use them, preferably not, but if you're having trouble, go ahead. The other thing is, did I put finger seal on there? Like the default seal you can get before anything else? I did not. So the only 2 seals, because I wanted to make sure I had 2 seals on there, one that you can get early in the game, and like another one that kind of made sense thematically and was also good. And the same with staves for casting like sorceries and such. So Astrologer's Staff you can get super early, Godslayer Seal you can get super early, and then Golden Order Seal makes sense as well, and Prince of Death Staff also makes sense. But those are both way later in the game. For incantations, yeah, Godslayer Seal is between the two, has a much higher requirement. I think it's 27 faith or something like that. But for the most part, you're going to want to go for some melee weapons beforehand. And that's kind of more of the intention here. There are a few. And technically, you can just go grab the Golden Order Seal before you fight anything. It's a bit more tricky. Because then, well, actually, no, you'd have to still fight the, Oh, actually, no, because you could get the Dectus Medallion. Go straight up to Altus Plateau, run past literally everything, and just go grab it. And it still has a decent requirement, so 17 and 17. So I mean 14 total levels instead of 17 on top of the default 10 faith. So either way, but I mean Godslayer Seal you can just get in Stormvale again without really fighting anything. Well, Margit. So technically, if you know your way around the game, the Golden Order Seal is easier to get. It does take some more doing, but you could technically get it without fighting anything. So, but yeah, I mean the club is decent, honestly. Twin Blade is on there because it's also decent and very easy to grab. And you wouldn't have the stats right away, but I'll go over that here in a minute. But let's see. The only thing that's what Switch View does. Oh, I didn't know that. We'll just name Goot. That's Goot. None of that matters. Let's just start. You have to input a name. That's all you have to do. I think I said no keepsake. Anyway, no keepsake. That was in the rules, obviously, but go ahead and skip. Come on. Skip. There we go. Alright. The ring. Because you pre-ordered this game in 2022 or whatever it was. Can't believe EldenRing's already 2 years old. But, oh, we got the golden stuff right off the bat. That's kind of nice. Anyhow, I'm gonna go over just a few starter recommendations, basically, in case you're unfamiliar with this sort of run and you're curious what should I do first, kind of thing, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna go over that because it seems daunting at first, but once you get into it, it's not really that bad, honestly. Like, this was one of the easier runs I've done as far as like a challenge run goes. This was mostly, I put this one together mostly because I wanted to do something with this theme for a while and kind of explore those quest lines that I usually mostly skip. I don't think I need that either. Pretty sure they don't make you grab it. But yeah, EldenRing, great game, lots of stuff to discover, and a lot of it will go unnoticed by most players. Just because, you know, it's optional. Which, I mean, this is kind of a nice touch that I didn't notice, like, when first playing the game. But that section over there, it's actually where you just were. Which is kind of cool. Like, starting the game. There's a lot of cool stuff that like the other one, I think that up there is actually the forge. Can also be seen like the very start. Kinda sick. So I'm just gonna go straight for getting torrent before anything else. Which is why I'm doing this slightly unorthodox thing of running to the right. Because ordinarily you'd, you know, beeline it for the Church of Ella and talk to Kale and get a torch and a crafting kit and a periscope or whatever they call it, monocular, spyglass. There's a couple different names for it. I don't remember which one's the real name because I usually just call it a spyglass. But yeah, essentially, you can't skip getting torrent. You have to agree to help Melina and you have to get torrent. Like, the game cannot be completed legitimately without doing that, so.
Have they, sir? But you, I can play the role turning to aid you. You need her to the foot. Then it's set. Summon me. Ah, I bequeath. You, it will summon torrent. Treat him with.
Yeah, I don't need to pass time, it's fine. Alright, so I'm just gonna get the map thing here real quick, because no, I always forget to do that. Switch that for that. Because there is something on our approved list that is not that far. And you really don't need the whetstone blade, considering default Ashes of War only. And if you see a glowing skull at night, definitely crack it open and grab that golden rune. Because it's very, very helpful, very handy. And I'm actually not going to go in this direction right now. Because there's a Knight Cavalry guy, like, right there. Can go back to the first step, actually, and do a different thing. Gonna go grab Gonna go grab a better starting weapon. I mean, the club is technically better for certain enemies. And also, as an early recommendation, definitely grab the free smithing stone over here. And yeah, if you just jump this wall right here, see a torch and some stairs, just go down. And that door. Bing, bang, boom. That's the Twin Blade, which is on the list. Unfortunately, it requires 18 dexterity, so you need 8 levels in dexterity in order to wield it efficiently. Also, while I'm over here, just gonna get the other Site of Grace down here. Because it's nearby, and why not? Okay. The thing is, yeah, going to the Church of Ella is also helpful because it does have a place where you can improve weapons up to, I believe, +3. And another free smithing stone, which is always nice. Especially in the early game. Okay. Also, keep front up here. In another video that I'm sure is probably coming out before this, I also went over. Which one was that? That was for the Starving Wolf run, right? I went over how to get a bunch of free runes, basically, at the beginning of the game. So I'm not going to include that in this one, just because it's kind of time-consuming to highlight all the good spots. But if you guys want to know the specifics on that, definitely check out that video. Oops. And I'll be sure to put all the challenge run videos into a playlist in case you guys are looking for a couple of different ways to mix up your playthroughs and the lands between. But yeah, you don't have to talk to Rodrika. Definitely recommend grabbing that Stone Sword key. But yeah, any golden seeds and get for free at the beginning of the game. Very, very good. Just expand that flask. And also another great thing to do really early would be to get to the round table hold without fighting anything. Initially, when the game is new, a lot of people speculated that you have to defeat Margit before you can go to the round table hold. It's not true at all. Another thing you can do to basically prove to Melina that you're worthy is to do a sufficient amount of exploring. So if you make it to, let's say, Caelid or Raya Lucaria, that is also impressive. So also visibility is going to be kind of low here, which is another reason I probably should have passed some time. But basically just stick to the rocks, the rock face on the left, and you'll be okay. But basically, yeah, you just take this path. It may seem meandering, it kind of is. There's some wolves along the way. If you're taking too much time, they'll definitely attack you. Basically, just like that, we're in Liurnia of the Lakes, and behind Stormvale Castle now, as you can see on the map, because this entire thing is Stormvale. So if you rest at this side of Grace, bing bang boom.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if you had. It seems torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering.
Yep,
Very
please
well.
do.
Let my hand.
Which, I mean, you kind of have to. I've tested this as well, like, can you actually beat the game without going to the round table hold at all? No, you can't. You have to go there. It's a requirement. But now that we're here, go back and... You know what? As a beginner thing, I think I'll highlight one other very important thing. And this one that I didn't highlight in the previous one. At least I don't think I did. Maybe I did, but in this one you can keep the club, so it's kind of different. For the sake of visibility, I'm just going to change the time of day. It's because I don't have the torch right now. Also, if you choose to do some stuff in Raya Lucaria before Limgrave, a few things. First of all, always grab the Sacred Tears. Every time. Very helpful. Also, Grave Scythe is on the approved damage list, which it's a good weapon. And these guys drop it. Basically, any of these undead that have it as a weapon. Whoops, that was a mistake. Yeah, it's basically those three guys right there. If you just take them out repeatedly, you can try to get it. It's like a 10% drop or a 5% drop or something. I've seen it drop on the first try. I've also had it not happen for like 4 or 5 cycles. But I'll take out that same group of enemies again, see if we can get it to drop this time. That is not at all what I wanted. It's okay. Forgot that really hurts. I'll get the Academy Scroll, even though I can't use it for anything. And it looks like they didn't drop it. That's fine. Drop it. Twist it. Fuck it. What? Nothing. Return it. What? Oh, nothing. This is a great toy. Break it. What? Something's wrong with the Bop It. Alright, increase mountain. Leave the flask. Yep. This is another thing right here. This merchant, you guys should be familiar, but it has a thing that's on the list.
No matter why don't.
You can buy an astrologer staff here. It's only 800 runes, which isn't that bad. Also got some smithing stones you can just purchase, which these are regular price. Like, sometimes merchants sell things at like a slightly inflated price, or sometimes a little cheaper. These are the normal prices. But the lantern, if you can, definitely buy it. I've only picked up 2 golden runes so far, because I haven't, done much of any looting, and it is a little expensive at 1800 runes, but it's so worth it. Also, you can grab maps like behind the thing, so that's a way to get that one without taking any damage. Because if you try to grab it from the front, usually they'll get you. And don't care about that side of grace. It does not matter. Does not spark joy. Just go to this gazebo right here. Grab that. Yep. Travel to a different location. And essentially, in order to do this a little bit faster, well, we'll show 2 things. We're not even at half an hour yet. So you need the Academy key to get past that. And we are going to fast travel to that side of grace, which is why I triggered it first. Essentially, you want to go down here and jump off to the right. Boom. Land there, no damage taken. And there's a bunch of free runes here, so I highly recommend just running around and grabbing them. Watch out for magic bullets, obviously, but if you're a little bit closer, a lot of the times it'll trigger the poison attack, which is not nearly as much of a problem. Go. I think that's all of them. There's this gazebo to the west. There's a free smithing stone too, I think. Yep. Basically, head back up here. We have slightly lower visibility right now, which kind of sucks. Essentially, get up to the rock face and then head west. And careful, if you did get poisoned, be sure to take a sippy sip every so often. We're basically heading straight west, turn a little bit to the north, so you're going northwest after that little archway. And again, it would be really nice if we had better visibility, but It's gonna be a dragon right here, so be sure to go quickly. Grab this third item in the back corner. Jump, jump. Through the hole. Bam. If you do it fast enough, it won't even trigger the boss fight. Which is something I actually just learned pretty recently, like last week. Like every so often I'm still finding new stuff about this game. Just like, damn. Alright, would recommend hitting this side of grace. And fast traveling back. But yeah, you may have noticed in the rule set, I did say all of their side quests must be completed for D, Roger, Fia, and Gronk. However, there's no required ending for this run. So doing this kind of run, you may start noticing some story stuff that you haven't really noticed before. I definitely did. And you may decide you want to side with one character or another. So you can still pick whatever ending you want, basically. Just doing this set doesn't lock you into anything. So, and I don't really want to spoil stuff either for if you guys are, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but if you have beat the game a couple times, got a couple of the endings, you probably know what I'm talking about. Also, that would have made a nicer screen cap than the previous one, so if you'd rather use that as like your reference for the rule set, I think it looks a little bit cleaner. But yeah, there's another good reason to keep using the club, at least in the early part of the game. Oh, now we have like clear day visibility. Look at that, you can see the 4 belfries like super clearly from here. Alright. Another quick little tip. There's another golden seed on the bridge here, so don't take the teleport there. Just ride right on past. And I actually didn't know about this one to like my 3rd playthrough, I think. And also, if you've helped out Yura at all, like, I think you just have to do the first thing. There'll be like a red summon sign on the ground somewhere on the bridge. I think it's on that first part, but yeah. When you're ready, after you grab the golden seed, definitely just interact with that glyph. And over here, definitely hit the site of grace, is what I'll say. Also, Bellum Church is just a little bit north of here. There's another sacred tier there if you want to improve your flask. But we should still be on 1, yep. Go ahead and do that, yep. And back. Also, by this point, I'm pretty sure Rodrika will have relocated to the Round Table Hold. I don't... Actually, you might have to beat Godric first. I don't quite remember. But when she leaves Stormhill Shack, she leaves behind a golden seed, so... Alright, so this one you want to jump down on. And I would recommend doing this not on Torrent, just because it's a little easier to control your falls. In my opinion. Like, Torrent gives you the... has the added benefit of having a double jump in case you mess up one of your jumps, but I think he's a little unwieldy sometimes, so just personally, I'd recommend, but you know, don't have to go with that. So essentially going here will net you the first what is it called? Smithing stone bell bearing. So you can just give that to the Twin Maiden husk in Roundtable Hold and just buy smithing stones 1 and 2, which is very, very helpful. Also, every one of these shafts with like mining shaft with an elevator has little footholds on the way down. So if you jump off, no worries, you can still get down safe. Which is a very nice failsafe they put into the game. I very much appreciate it. And oftentimes there's like extra goodies in the side rooms on the way down, so if you haven't, definitely check that. But essentially, I don't want to aggro them yet. The main reason to hold on to the club is strike type damage. It only does strike, which is very helpful for these enemies because they resist other types of damage. However, you deal very decent damage with the club, and just like heavy attacks will stagger them a little bit, whereas they just kind of eat other types of attacks. So, because at the end of this tunnel, you have to defeat the boss. The boss is the one that drops the actual the bell bearing, and it's a crystallian, which I've seen that question before, like, how am I supposed to beat crystallians when they basically have, you know, crystal for skin, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's a little confusing if you don't know the trick to it. But they're kind of like these guys. You just hit them with strike damage, essentially. Whoops. Don't use the basic attacks. Stick with heavies. And you can stagger them. Also, if you take the stuff that they're mining, they'll just be aggroed next time. Kind of all the mining enemies in the game are like that, actually. Kind of a cool touch. Some of them actually don't. They just like sit there and they're bored. But it depends if their stuff respawns or not. The cracked crystals, they do respawn. Smithing stones do not. But essentially, you don't have to fight most of any of these guys on the way down. It really does not matter. I believe this is the one with the somber smithing stone at the end. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, for a lot of these you can just run off the edge and it'll be totally fine. Yeah, either do jumping heavy attacks or just heavy attacks on these guys. They'll stagger them every time. They won't be able to do anything. It's pretty great. So it makes it fairly easy to... I'm just going to run past all this other stuff. Even the shortcut, because I'm pretty sure I won't need anything else to beat the boss. That was rude. And if you want to avoid aggroing, like, the other guys, just kind of run. I didn't mean to land in their group, so I kind of fucked that up, but it's alright. Sometimes they chase you onto the elevator, sometimes they don't make it. If they do, just jump off to the side thing. It'll usually be fine. Another somber smithing stone. I ran past a lot of the smithing stones, by the way. Yeah, just watch out for the spinny attacks. Once you get that, do the break, and then at this point, you'll just do normal damage. There you go. Level 1 Wretch. Basic unupgraded club. Not a single heal. Just... yeah. And it's because pure strike damage. There's not a lot of weapons that do pure strike damage, but thankfully the quote-unquote worst starting class in Elden Ring has arguably the best weapon against that particular enemy and these enemy types. So, and yeah, that's a huge leg up. So now you can just buy smithing stones from the Twin Maiden House, get the round table hold after giving the bell bearing. And then you can get your weapons up to, what is it, plus, it's 1 and 2, so 3 plus 6? Because it's 3 upgrades on each one, so yep, then just go into purchase and bam, smithing stone 1 and 2. Which is pretty great. And of course, if you want to see if Rodrika's golden seed is there, you can just see if she's over there by the fire. If she's here, that means she's not at Stormhill Shack. Just fast travel back there. And bing bang boom. There it is. Golden seed. So now I think it's probably at 2 golden seeds per upgrade, but still, you know, it's nice to grab all the ones that you can. So, anyway, that is the run overview for the Godslayer Flame run, guys. Once again, there's the rule set, and would highly recommend this one. It's a lot of fun. And not really as hard as you may think, but it's still an interesting one because it definitely for me it kind of forced me to play the game in a different way than I ordinarily would. Kind of see some things that ordinarily wouldn't encounter. So that alone made it worth it for me personally. But you know, let me know what you guys think. Again, this is more kind of just wanted to have updated videos like after actually completing these runs to be like, hey, this is no longer a rough draft, this works, this is the final form of this run. Definitely recommend it, you know, and I'll make sure these are in a playlist of their own. Probably just call it like Elden Ring challenge runs or something like that, because I like making these up and I like trying them out. It's I'm actually currently, well, at the time of recording, working on a new one, and initially I made some videos on some of them because I had the idea and tested it out a little bit, but I was like, you know what, I should make a video once it's done and actually be like, hey, I've done this. It was fun. It was, you know, hard. It was whatever. Definitely recommend it. So, but yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And of course, before we get going, a very special thank you going out to the current Farts and Crap Show members, which at the time of recording is Navalis Draconis and Don Sabino. Thank you guys so much. for choosing to support the show a bit more directly. Greatly helps out, greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to be incredibly awesome like these amazing people and get in on all those membership benefits, definitely check out that join button down below. Tiers start at $3 a month. It's only 10 cents a day, gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote on the series that get made here on the channel via the members' choice polls. It's a thing we do once a month for a full 7 days, so literally 25% of the time we have one going. And we are going to have one coming up for March at some point, probably the 3rd week of the month, roughly. I don't really know when yet, but if you guys want to stay up to date on all of the updates here on the channel, all the announcements and such, either just check the end of the video, or I always, have a video out once a day at least, usually twice a day, one at noon Eastern and one at 11 p.m. Eastern. But keep an eye on the community tab here. It's where I post the updates, as well as over on the Twitter and the Discord. If you want to follow or join those, links are down there in the description, also on the channel banner. But that is gonna do it for today. So once again, guys, thanks for being here. Till next time, take care, and I hope you all have a splendiferous day.